It's been a massive week of reprints, reskins and new editions, but it's the same old me. Hello, I'm Matthew and welcome to the Board Game News. We start this week with the announcement of Starship Captains coming to us from Czech Games Edition and set to boldly go where it looks like Star Trek, right? Anyone? Welcome aboard and congratulations on the promotion, we've been told. Your new-ish Starship is ready to embark on its first big voyage. Just scrape off some of that rust and she'll do fine. And that crew, they might look a bit green around the edges, but they're your crew now and you can make us proud. That's the setup for Starship Captains, a game where, as newly promoted captains, players must set out to prove themselves in a galaxy full of space pirates, grumpy androids, ancient artifacts, and interplanetary adventures. Also, do not touch that large, black, evil-sounding space goo. It will straight up kill you. Yes, absolutely yes. This 2 to 4 player Eurogame mixes action selection and engine building. It's the legally distinct Star Trek game that I've been waiting for, where you can manage a diverse crew of cadets, ensigns, androids and officers, each with special roles and capabilities, spending those time to earn medals while you promote and train your crew, as well as upgrade your ship. I'm unreasonably excited about this game, which has been described as a sci-fi love letter with satisfying Euro gameplay. Just yes, this is what I want in my life and it'll be released in Q4 later this year. There's some very exciting, if not brief news with the announcement by Ares Games of a brand new card game sequel in War of the Ring, the card game. The original War of the Ring is a massive, sprawling, miniatures-filled Lord of the Rings game in a box type thing where players face off as either the evil armies of Sauron or the free peoples as you attempt to either journey the ring to Mount Doom or very much stop that from happening, ideally. War of the Ring, the card game, is another asymmetric game that it seems will have you doing the same type of thing, but in a very different way, as 2 to 4 players in a team-based system control one or more of the factions, each with its own unique deck, reproducing the strengths and weaknesses of their specific characters, like Frodo's cool vest, or Sean Bean's in it. It's being fully announced and showcased at the UK Games Expo, so hopefully I'll get the scoop while I'm there, and a lot more information will be available after that. The 1 to 4 player tree growing game Evergreen has been announced by Horrible Guild, again coming at the end of the year, and by the same designer as other notable tree game Photosynthesis. In Evergreen, your goal is to build a lush ecosystem by planting seeds, growing trees and placing other natural elements on your planet, trying to make it the greenest and most fertile as you compete to outgrow the other players, picking biome cards from a common pool to determine which area of your planet you'll develop round to round. Evergreen has a similar sun revolving the board as Photosynthesis, and you can really see that the designs are connected, but Evergreen is described as being slightly more laid back than its often cutthroat predecessor, and significantly unique. For starters, each player has their own player boards this time. The game will be made as well with some recycled cardboard and comes with a pledge from the publishers to support Trees for the Future, a humanitarian and non-profit organisation training communities and farming families across 9 countries in sub-Saharan Africa on sustainable land use so that they can grow vibrant economies, thriving food systems and a healthier planet. And Horrible Guild have also gone ahead and donated towards over 4,000 trees, with more donations to be made in the future as the game sells. The next big expansion for Marvel Champions has been announced. Mutant Genesis will be adding the X-Men into the game in autumn, and this 5-scenario campaign adds bad guys like Sabretooth, the Sentinels and Magneto into the mix, and the campaign has you trying to stop the assassination of Senator Kelly while you go head to head with the Brotherhood of Mutants on Asteroid M. Can you believe it? Wow! Asteroid M. I have no idea what that is. Is it cool? Asteroid M? The Brotherhood of Mutants? Are they great? Are we excited to see them? Who knows? Shadow, Cat and Colossus are the new heroes in the expansion that also includes modular encounter sets that are cross-playable with all the previous sets, but also, along with this big box, there's 6 separate hero packs that have been confirmed, the first of which will be Cyclops and Phoenix launching at the same time as Mutant Genesis. All I know is that in the 90s cartoon, Gambit was the coolest X-Man, right? That on the show had an absolutely banging theme tune. Trick or Treat Studios, who specialise in making games with a B-movie horror feel about them, have announced A-lister designers on their latest 2 games, with Richard Garfield's Creature Feature and Rainer Knizia's Nightmare Productions. Yes to this. Creature Feature has 3 to 6 players take on the role of movie agents trying to secure the best parts for their clients in, of course, some upcoming monster movies. In the game of hand management and bluffing, you'll be assigning stars and co-stars to audition for the different roles that come up. And everyone reveals their stars at the same time, but then have the chance to change their minds. The winning roles get points, but you never want your star to have a lower value than your co-star. This looks like an interesting twist on a bidding game, and Richard Garfield's name always gives me confidence. But so does Rainer Knizia's. So I was incredibly happy to see that the latest big box Knizia designs be reprinted, following the new editions recently of 2 classics with Ra and Armand Ray, is Nightmare Productions, a reskin of Transfabrique. Or, like my version calls it, Dream Factory. With a similar theme to Creature Feature though, Nightmare Productions puts players in the role of studio executives trying to make the next big horror movie. You'll be auctioning your brains out trying to win and lose at the right time as you're trying to gather together the right creatures, props and music as 2 to 5 players try to make the best films possible. And all I can tell you is that Dream Factory is a brilliant game, so this re-theme just feels perfect for it. So expect both of these later this year. In the latest Catan-based news, or as I've been calling it, a Catan fair, like fanfare. Anyone? There's Catan news. Alright, that's what I'm saying. Dawn of Humankind was announced. And in it, 3 to 4 players later this year will not only be angrily trading resources, but also, according to Cosmos Games, guiding the first humans on their journey as they migrate throughout the world while developing their technology and culture. Which is when I thought to myself, is this like a reprint of the Settlers of the Stone Age? And then I read the literal next sentence in the press release that said, Catan Dawn of Humankind is a reboot of Settlers of the Stone Age, with gameplay rooted in the original Catan, while featuring new elements, strategies and adventures to discover. I'm a big Catan, which is what us fans of Catan call ourselves, okay? It's fun, it's cool to be getting a chance to play like revamped older versions. The Struggle of Rome version of Catan that I would like to see remade. But do you remember that massive deluxe version of Catan that was announced a few months ago? Because I sure do, and in a move that surprised me, they've begun reprinting the expansions to the deluxe base game, starting with Catan 3D Seafarers and City and Knights. The expansion looks amazing, and I'm happy that it's 2 big box expansions in one massive box 3D edition. That takes the edge off the big price tag that will no doubt be attached to this, as the base game alone was between $200 and $300. For sure, this is a collectors and big fans edition of the game, but it certainly is tempting. Like tempting, only fine. Finally, the Spiel des Jahres nominees were announced, and there are some pretty wonderful games up for the biggest awards of the year. For the Kinderspiel, or children's game, we have 2 Wolfgang Warsch and Schmidt kid-friendly sequels, both of which we've covered in the past with Alshon Clever and the Quacks & Co. of Quedlinburg, as well as a new to the show, Magic Mountain. Magic Mountain from Amigo Games, which is a really cool looking cooperative marble rolling game that I'll be buying for my niece because she'll love it. She's 4 years old and she loves marbles, so this is happening. For the Kennerspiel, or the Gamers Game, we have the freshly Deutsch releases of Cryptid from Osprey Games, Dune Imperium from Direwolf, and Living Forest from Ludonort. All 3 were surprises to me for no other reason than there's being so many great games to choose from, that and the selection process for the Spiel des Jahres Awards is veiled in an almost secret society type mystery. though that might just be because the press release was in German. And for the main event, the game of the year, we have Cascadia from Flat Out Games, Scout from One More Game, both of which I own and love, and Top 10 from Cocktail Games, which I'd never heard of. So, in Top 10, if the very in German video I watched is anything to go by, the aim of the game is to give answers to questions that reflect the number card that you've been dealt. The higher the number, the better the connection. So if the question is the best thing to go with ice cream and you have a 2 card, you might answer barbecue sauce, or if you're being inventive, maybe you'll say brain freeze. If it's a 10, then you might say more ice cream, because that's the correct answer. And players have to guess which number card you have. Also, there's something to do with unicorns in the game, but I have a very strong feeling Top 10 will be getting a big global release in the coming months. Who do you think will win? Let us know. My guess was Savannah Park, so I was big time wrong. But for me being hopefully less wrong, click here for the latest episode of Matthew Answers the Internet, and I'll see you over there.